looks like I live on for quite some time. Despite my changes. And with her by my side still.
Last night was an experience. But I don't think you've changed quite as much as some might think. I'd recognize that vigor anywhere.
Well, as long as she still appreciates it.
It sounds like the city's trying to get back on its feet already. Normal life is returning. Which means things are about to become decidedly more difficult for you. Perhaps you could wear a mask. Say you're a leper, or have taken religious vows to conceal your face.
The city already knows. Well, it may work.
For a time, perhaps. Deception and concealment has been part of my life for so long. But this is different. This is beyond me. After what this city's been through, people will scarcely tolerate cuttlefish at the fishmonger's stall, never mind a full-blown mind flayer in their midst. Do you know what this means?
I'm afraid so. But I need to hear you say it to fully accept it.
You deserve to be vaunted, adored. Statues in your image should stand on every square. A whole generation of babies should be named in your honor. But it will not be so. All those people you saved, most of them will never know what you did. But you know. And so do I. I'll never forget. I need to get you out of here. It was difficult enough smuggling you in here covered in cloaks. It'll only get worse as normalcy returns.
Please come with me.
I can't. At least, not right now. I'm sorry. After everything that happened with my parents, with Shah, I need time to myself. Time to find myself.
Okay. I'll respect your wishes.
You need to take care of yourself. Keep out of danger. Perhaps there is some way, some unfathomable way we can still see each other eventually.
I hope so.
Must exist, surely. So I refuse to call this farewell. Just until next time.
Okay. Until next time.
Well, soldier, here we are.
Back in Avernus.
It worked. My engines calmed down. I shouldn't have let you come here. This isn't going to be easy, you know. Zara's going to come at us with everything she's got.
Yes, she will.
Gods. Like clockwork. They'll be on us soon, but there's just enough time. Thought I was done with these.
Oh, yeah.
But then, there was you. Imps are fast, but careless. Don't let them tire you out. Just get rid of them. Don't forget. You asked for this. Better let these fuckers know I'm back. And this time, I'm not alone.
No, you're not. Let's fuck them up.
Since the Netherbrain fell, you have continued to evolve. Thought is action, action is thought, speech is difficult. Your mind has voyaged to the limits of existence, communing with entities unique and wondrous. But something always calls it back. Back to Faerun, back to yourself, back to the beginning. The time before you became what you are. When your tadpole first sang in your mind, you are back there once again when a voice comes to you. Withers, who you know so well. It is time, he says, to meet with your allies once again. You dream of them often, and now you will see if your dreams have become their reality.
I hope so. Bringing everyone back together. Although Lae'zel seems to be astrally projected here. And these two have even come from the hells.
Thou wert called here, some from above, some below. For with thine bond, together thou hast kept the wheel of fate spinning when it threatened to halt. Though thou wert drawn far apart in the months after the collapse of the Absolute, tonight, fate renews thy bond once more. Thou shouldst take care to preserve it. It is a great weapon wielded in the hand of good. Go. Know one another once more.
I guess we get a little party as an epilogue. Scratch. Really?
There's something strange in your old friend's mouth. What is it?
You're carrying the prism? Come here, boy. It's nice that he still recognizes me.
A familiar invitation. He wants you to throw the object he's dropped. But it isn't a ball. It's the astral prism.
Where the hell did you find this,
He
buddy?
whines. Let's talk. More throw.
Alright, alright.
Scratch barks merrily in
And I can
something
speak
like agreement.
psionically with him. Alright, buddy, one throw for you. Here you go. Damn, you grew up fast. Where have you been since we last
Snaps the
met?
air and wiggles. He's either miming fighting a many-limbed creature or dancing. It's unclear. He is, however, exhausted. He's had plenty of adventures without you.
How about we find you a home? Maybe with Shadowheart. You spent a lot of time with her. I'd like if she looked after you.
The joy
For me.
in the owlbear's eyes is clear. He longs for a home and would love to stay with Shadowheart.
I'd say an owlbear is a fitting pet for a priestess of Saloon. Shadowheart, I'll come to you last. Save the best for last.
There you are. There you are, my friend. Breathe deep. Can you smell it?
You take in every scent the night breeze carries. Sweet honeysuckle, tender violets, and an earthy fragrance you can't quite recognize.
Something else I can't quite place.
Forest trees draped in moss. Bittersweet, smoky, and that faintest hint of vanilla.
I'm sure you've missed it while in the
A far
hells.
cry from the rancid Avernus heat that's been clogging my lungs. I swear, Karlach and I have felled enough cambions to build a fortress with their horns.
Ha!
Who'd have thought that just one of those fiends held the key to escaping Avernus for good? One of them sported a map and some blueprints. If you want all the gory details, Karlach can fill you in. But get this. If those blueprints work, I could reverse engineer my stone eye. Instead of Mazora tracking me, I could track her.
Ooh.
It's past time for her old pet to sink in his fangs.
Sounds damn good to me. How you been faring without your power?
I think the splinters I made out of the last bone devil I saw speak for themselves. Not to pat myself too hard on the back, but I'm not such a bad ranger if I do say so myself.
Become a ranger now. I'd say that fits you. Had any time to visit
seen
your
him more
father?
than a few times, and he's as proud of me as I am of him. He's leading the city's renewal, opened the gates to all newcomers, rebuilt the council from scratch,
Damn.
and he's back in his element, commanding the Flaming Fist with brave heart and no shortage of empathy. The
Good.
likes of Gortash can bend people's minds with a few chosen words. No tadpole needed. Bane's chosen primed the Fist for a war they weren't meant to win. He convinced them there was an assassin hiding in every shadow, that cruelty was the correct answer to crisis. With a few exceptions, fathers pardoned every last Fist. If my forgiveness not be Tyr's will, so be it. I shall forgive them all the same. His words, not mine.
A wise man.
He still believes in the bow and the blade, but with Floric's help, he's teaching the Fist a new lesson. Valor is found not in the wounds you inflict, but in the lives that you have bettered. May they all take it to heart.
Indeed. Damn, I've missed you.
I've missed you too. The rush of battles we fought, the heart-to-hearts, the nights around the fire, the comfort of knowing I didn't face the unknown alone. If I had to do it all over again, and I'd rather not, to be clear, I can't imagine not having you at my side. Well, that's enough hell talk for the moment. The night's young. You shouldn't go wasting it.
Indeed, and I've got a lot of people to catch up with.
Wine, for that matter. I plan on downing half a bottle myself. Oh, did I say half a bottle? I meant half a dozen.
Sure you built up quite an appetite in hell, didn't you? Gale, how goes things with Mistra?
Well, well. Look what the Tressim dragged in.
Oh, speaking of, where's yours?
Professor Gale Decarius of Blackstaff Academy.
Blackstaff?
Educator of the esteemed School of Illusion. A pleasure to remake your acquaintance.
Damn. You've made your way up in the world. Although I don't think you'll set the
You
best
make
example.
perfect sense. Who better to warn of the perils of misusing magic than someone who was once only a wayward sneeze away from destroying a mid-sized settlement?
That's fair.
I fear my students find me somewhat intimidating due to my, explosive former reputation. I seem to put the fear of the gods into them. Or the fear of Mistra, to be more specific.
Yeah, you're definitely a cautionary
Surrendered the
tale for
crown of
that.
Carsus to her, as I told you I would. And in return, she cured me of the orb at last.
Oh, right, its tattoo isn't on you anymore.
Even now, I struggle to put the feelings into words. It was like exhaling for the first time after holding my breath for so very long. Of course, I haven't clarified with my students that the orb is no longer a threat. The legend of my explosive capabilities is an excellent means of controlling a classroom. Too good, if anything.
Oh,
I
well.
spend most of my time trying to convince them how much fun the study of magic can be. But it'd be easier to crack a smile on an intellect devourer than some of my pupils.
Well, some wizards are just like that. But why illusory magic? It used to be so destructive.
Illusory magic has the power to confound the senses, to render the impossible into reality, and to allow expression of that most magical attribute of all. Imagination.
Well said.
Had you the decades to spare, I think you'd prove quite adept at it, as you did in that first lesson I taught you. It was at that moment, the weave connecting us, that I realized how much your friendship had come to mean to me. As it still does.
Thank you, Gale.
Teaching you was hardly an effort at all. Not like my present cohort of apprentices. Oh, they try their best, of course, when they can manage to stay awake. And what of you? What are you making of this newfound lease of life we earned?
It's been a bit quiet, to be honest.
Quiet is not always peace. That much I can vouch for. But in your case, I think you deserve a moment's rest. I've told my students plenty of tales about our escapades. You're something of a hero to them, you know? I'd be delighted to introduce you to my current cohort as a guest lecturer, perhaps. I'm sure they'd have plenty of questions for you.
I mean, it depends on if they're willing to have the audience of a mind flayer.
Never fear. My students are as open-minded and generous a bunch as you'll find north of the Chionthar. And I'll remind them of their manners. Of course, you'll be most welcome to stay with me in my tower. It will give us plenty of time to catch up on your adventures. I'm very curious to know what you've been up to these past months. But I suspect the telling of that tale would keep you tied to me all evening. So, in the spirit of selflessness, I encourage you to mix and mingle for now, with time enough to come.
Indeed.
All this stimulating conversation leaves you hungry. To speak is not enough. You wish to explore the brain of your friend with your beak. You would save his temporal lobe for last, if you were to eat Gale. Language.
No.
Learning, memory. You must have quite the fine example.
Gotta resist that. It's a good thing I still have the Amulet of Greater Heart. That gives me a hell of a bonus. Oh shit. Come on, roll inspiration. I failed twice. Son of a bitch.
Consuming a brain, you become one with its owner. Every memory blends with yours. What better reunion than this eternal bond?
No, 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 no. Somebody stop me.
You shall dine well tonight.
Oh, shit. Okay, so that's not the ending if I let them kill me, which means the ending is either to fully resist through the entire party or die. Or, no, I have to resist through the entire party or find a way to end myself quickly.
I cannot remember the last time I heard the ballad of the endless spring performed.
Oh, this is bad.
Always at your side.
Maybe Shadowheart can help me.
Show up.
I've been counting the days.
Honestly? So have I. Well, come here, will you? It's been forever.
Just one tender moment.
You feel a little more substantial than before. Less camping and scrounging off the land, I take it.
I'll take that as a compliment. You look great, though.
I suppose I do, don't I? I'm glad you seem well. Truly. I
Feelings
have no
mutual.
doubt, but I'm glad to hear you say it all the same.
So what have you been up to?
Wandering, mostly. The adventuring life is almost a tonic when you're not constantly threatened by brain monsters and cultists. I can finally see the world beyond the cloister.
Well, where have you been? What have you seen out there?
One of my first stops was the House of the Moon in Waterdeep. It's the largest temple of Selûne in existence. It
Indeed.
seemed like the perfect spot to reflect on my parents, on where they came from. And where I came from too, I suppose. Hard to imagine, isn't it? Me, of all people, in the lair of the Moon Witch herself. God, your truest act of heroism was putting up with all that char and drivel I was spouting for so long.
Hard to argue that. Your parents will be very proud of you.
Oh, I know they are. I can still sense them, I think. And one day we'll be reunited.
That you will. So what's next for you?
I don't know. Which is just the way I like it just now. Perhaps I'll just stick a pin in a map and see what I find, or head to the docks in the morning and scrounge a berth to find somewhere new. I'd like to see the islands, maybe, or head south to Arm. I heard there's an enclave of werecats that hunt the followers of dark gods by moonlight. I'd love to see if there's any truth to that. But enough about me. What have you been up to? Don't be a stranger.
I'll try not to. Many have just volunteered you for something, though.
Is that so? And what liberties did you decide to take, exactly?
Yeah, you might be getting a new traveling companion.
The owlbear? Of course I'll have him. If he wants to come with me, that is. I'd have offered sooner, but everything was a blur after the battle. I thought he'd gone to roam free.
So did I.
Are you sure he'd want to join? I'm not exactly settled anywhere right now. It could be dangerous at times.
Hardly anything new for either of you. They should be a blast.
All right, then. It's settled. Oh, the things we'll get up to.
Okay, let's try this again and make sure I don't eat his brain.
The buffet table at this party bears pie, punch, and cocktail sausages. No respite shall be had at this pitiful smorgasbord.
Okay, let's hope I can pass the con check this time. Critical success. Good.
This is highly illogical. There are plenty of other craniums awaiting your suction. And this is a prize ally. And besides, this brain before you, its endorphins are in a joyous flow. It is a wonderful scent. The odor of friendship.
Passed it that time.
Something about this spot.
Chihira, how have you been?
Well now. You can make yourself presentable when you have a mind to.
Hey, fuck you.
Your higher form has brought with it some higher manners, then.
Well, that makes one of us.
Oh, forgive me. I am simply excitable. It is good to be out under an open sky once more. My first, since the reconstruction began. We left quite a mess behind. But the city begins to look something like itself once more.
Good.
Same twisting alleys for purse pickers. Same wooden buildings ready to get burnt by next year's dragon. Same cisterns overflowing. Huh.
Heard the upper city was destroyed beyond reconstruction.
The upper city has been almost entirely rebuilt. That's where the gold is. Even the builder's scaffolds are cleared from the streets. No dust left to sneeze at.
Of course.
Baldurians simply get on with it. Stubbornness, civic spirit, plain stupidity. Perhaps all three. But nothing I will sniff at any longer. Harpers, have come from half the world over to lend aid. Farmers, masons, healers.
Excellent.
My own son, George, has been wooed to their ranks. Already he plans crop cycles in Worm's Crossing. Not so for my daughter. Ryan's rejoined the Flaming Fist. Temporarily, you understand. To organize the craftsmen. Though she spends more time locking up comrades for pocketing aid funds. They might learn a thing or two if they don't expel her. Again.
What about you, though? Well, I guess you must be very proud of your kids.
I suppose I am. I tried to steer them clear of my life's work, but they have chosen it for themselves. There is still much to do. People to house, a Harper network to rebuild. I may have little love for this city, but so long as my family chooses to serve it, I can do no less.
I'll be sure to lend a hand. If you'll have me.
The Harpers welcome any into their ranks, so long as their soul is willing. You've proven you have one. Mind flayer or no. I have lived many lives. It is only right you be allowed to live another. Take this.
A Harper pen. So I get to be one now. Gladly.
There is, usually a ceremony. Reciting of odes, singing of songs. I'm sure we'll get to all of that as the drinks flow. For now, I give you only the most simple Harper creed. To look for the light, and watch always for the dawn. But to enjoy the night while we have it, huh?
Indeed.
Now, before this night grows any deeper, I must inspect the refreshments. You'll never know. Some ne'er-do-well might have tampered with the wine.
Yeah, Astarion might have spiked it.
A most welcome sight.
Lae'zel?
For 2 months, Orpheus trained me in the ways of the comet. For 2 more, I skewered Kithraki bellies. And for 2 more yet, I traveled through Limbo. I never imagined we'd be standing toe-to-toe on this day, in this place. Nothing but allies, I always told myself. A necessary partnership. But in spite of every strained word, every barbed glance, seeing you brings me even more pleasure than taking a Royal Inquisitor's head.
Your efforts to topple Vlaakith are well underway, then.
We've spilled blood, gained a foothold in the astral, but still we need allies. And one beyond reckoning has made itself known. Zerith Minyaragith.
And who is that?
Not a what, but a who. The immortal god king of the Githzerai. An exiled people.
Oh.
Once kin with mine, until the madness of civil war ripped our one sky into 2. Our Gish sent word of the rebellion to Minyaragith through the cosmos. He's agreed to parley.
Excellent.
To me to secure an alliance.
I'm sure you'll do excellently. Your tongue is as sharp as your blade.
My blade is keen as ever. But it was you who showed me that a proper victory doesn't always require a razor-sharp edge. Sometimes, a sincere plea is more persuasive than a dagger against the neck. Minyaragith is an ascetic. He reached out in good faith. This is his way. It is in this spirit that I must meet him. And if he refuses, I carry on. Gravity pulls me in but one direction.
Victory.
I am a warrior of the comet. I will not rest until I burn Vlaakith's bones to ash and smash her phylactery to pieces. My people will be free.
And I wish you luck.
But you've heard that refrain before. Zealous, bossy, insistent. All part and parcel of my undeniable charm.
Good luck, Lae'zel.
And to you, always. Now go, mingle a bit. That's the word, right? Mingle. But don't think you've seen the last of me. I'll be back. Sure as the comet will rise. Sure as Kalir will forever circle the sun.
I look forward to your return. Halsin?
You would think someone of my vintage would be inured to the passage of time. Yet these past 6 months have seemed endless without your company. But now, our paths cross once more.
Just as nature intended?
Just as I hoped they would, more like. The Oak Father has been kind to me this past while. Yet I cannot forget the bond we all forged together. It is one that can weather any distance, any passage of time. I know it can, for I feel the longing for old friends in my heart each day.
Sound like you could use a hug.
I always do. Should I ever decline, assume a doppelganger has taken my place.
I've had enough of doppelgangers, thank you very much.
That was more than worth the wait.
Well, there's more where that came from.
Rest assured, my arms shall be ready. Now, we have much to catch up on. Do not allow me to ramble on. I am eager to hear all you've been doing.
Well, I'd like to hear about everything you've done since we split first.
In that case, very well. Our community grows rapidly. In 6 months, we have turned what was once a shadowy wasteland into a true home for all. In another 6 months, I would wager the scars of the past will be entirely invisible, even to those who remember them.
Excellent.
The old masonry of Moonrise Towers and Wraithwin have been repurposed into new homes, and the land is rich with harvests and bountiful trees. Nature and civilization are in harmony, stronger together.
It sounds beautiful.
It is, truly. Though a more complex, evolving beast than I could ever have anticipated. I spoke often of balance before. Only now do I realize the balance is no simple, fixed thing. We welcome folk from all walks of life. Anyone who wishes for a new start. Naturally, it can be chaotic at times, but it is a thrilling sort of chaos. It thrives in ways I could never have dreamed of.
I'll need to see all this for myself.
You are welcome whenever you like, and for however long you please. Now, please, tell me all, and spare no details. I shall not lie. I have an ulterior motive in wishing to hear all. It is the children, you see, my charges. Their appetite for bedtime tales is greater than I could ever have anticipated. Another story, Daddy Halsin. Another is the chorus that greets me each nightfall. They have all but exhausted my repertoire in but a few short months. No mean feat given the lifetime I have lived. I desperately need new material, please. My reputation is at stake.
Well, let's see what I have.
I am all ears. Though I never cared for that phrase. A rather unsettling image.
Yeah, sounds like a nightmare that some of the worst wizards would brew up.
I am glad you have kept yourself occupied. No doubt I'll be able to spin a few yarns for the children from this. Thank you. Now, it would be cruel of me to hoard you all to myself for the evening, as much as I would like to. I shall leave you to the others for now, unless there was anything else.
Nathaniel and Oliver doing well in the Grove?
quite often. They come and go as they please, but with so many playmates to avail of, they are far from strangers.
Good.
They ask after you often. What you did for them will never be forgotten. I can see it in the land all around me. But more importantly, I see it in their faces whenever they visit. To make a child smile is to dabble with the power of gods, as far as I'm concerned.
Couldn't agree more.
Before you go, I have something for you. Just a little keepsake, really. Do you remember how I told you I like to whittle? I made this. Ducks are my favorite, but I thought they were particularly fitting in this case. Yet, they always find their way back to where they belong. Just like old friends find themselves back in each other's company. Just a token to remember me by.
Oh, and the Tressem's here.
Right. You. Hello.
Good to see you again, Tara.
Yes, I'm certain it is. As for you, well, I've heard congratulations are in order. You helped Mr. Dicarios save Baldur's Gate from the Absolute, isn't that right? And you made significant sacrifices to your well-being by the looks of things.
I sacrificed a lot. Anything to help Gale and save Farron.
Well done. Despite my old friend's genius, he'd have blown himself up long ago if not for the help of friends like you and I. You ought
Indeed.
to come visit myself and Gale when you're able. If you can extract yourself from whatever responsibilities mind flayers might have.
Thank you for the invitation.
We'll send word by pigeon when we've need of you. I used to have a taste for them, but a great many things have changed in recent months. Ta-ta, darling.
Well,
Good to see you again, Asterion.
look who decided to turn up.
Can say the same to you.
Our withered old friend could live up to his promise. But here we are. At least I assume it's you in there. It's a little hard to tell.
Still got your sense of humor, I see.
How have you been since, everything?
I've missed our adventures.
Well, of course you have, darling. It's not easy to replace someone like this.
Got your confidence back as well, I see. You fared well since I saw you running off on the docks.
I've taken a turn as an adventurer and hero. It turns out no one actually cares about murder, as long as you murder the right people. And apparently I'm rather good at it.
Fair. One of the good guys, though. Who would have thought?
Let's not get carried away, darling. I'm still me. Perhaps more me than I've ever been.
What's next for you, then? What are you planning for your life now you're free?
Hardly. Good people don't spend as much time lurking in the dark as I do. You know, it's funny. At first, I thought I was trapped by the shadows, cursed to live in them forever. But in time, I realized that darkness is as much a part of me as my fangs. This is only a curse as long as I refuse to embrace the shadows. So, I decided I would. I decided not to be defined by the choices other people made, by what other people did to me. My past may be done, but my present, my future, they're mine.
And I'm sure you'll do magnificent things with them.
Is who I am, in all my glory, for better and for worse.
Minsk?
Boo! We are not dreaming. It is our old friend.
Good to see you too, pal.
Oh, and it is good to be seen. Oh, after so many days down in the dark, Minsk began to wonder if he was some blind bug who had only dreamed himself to be large and bulksome.
Really?
You will forgive the aroma, I hope. We were not expecting the Dusty One to open a portal to our very cell. Boo had a moment to lick himself clean, but there is a little too much of Minsk to cover.
And why were you in a cell?
Minsk and Boo have been helping, of course. We guard the streets, while Jaheira is occupied with harperish matters. The Zentarum rule the city's underbelly, so Minsk and Boo went to give them a tickle. There were harsh words, battle cries, some manner of head wound.
Ah.
We awoke in a Zentish cell, awaiting trial by noble combat. Execution, says Boo, though I am not sure of the difference. It is a long walk to the gallows, and Minsk still has his fists, no?
I'm sure you'll find a way out of that mess just like everything else you do. Does Jaheira know you're off your leash?
She told Minsk and Boo to behave themselves, which is why we shall be back in our cell by dawn. But leave such matters for the morn. Tonight is for celebration and the telling of tales.
Uh-huh.
How have you filled your days since we tore this sticky tyrant from the sky?
Finding adventure where I can. Without more people being turned, thankfully.
Without tadpoles, Boo. Forgive my hamster squirrelishness. He has developed something of a taste for tadpole, and is displeased by the diet I have placed him on. But no better cure than the company of friends.
Indeed.
There is much merriment to be made before the night is done. Go and greet the others. Minsk shall make himself presentable. Ah, this pond shall do nicely, Boo. Though I see no soap. So you shall have to blow the bubbles for me.
That's just weird. Then again, he's always been weird. Volo. Surprised you're here.
Ah, my dear friend, it's been an age, has it not? You're looking, well. Our skeletal friend will be very pleased to see I found my way here, despite my invitation getting lost in the post.
Yeah, I don't think it got lost, buddy. Getting yourself into more trouble, I presume.
Always, my friend. But the villain I must needs slay today is my greatest yet. A deadline.
Ah.
You won't be surprised to find I'm soon to publish a little holiday read about our adventures together. I've gotten quite good at replicating your signature, so you needn't even bother with the release form.
Seriously?
You might help me with the title, though. I'm considering The Hero and Me. What do you think?
Uh-huh. Well, I love it presuming I'm the hero.
Oh, that would be telling, wouldn't it? But believe you me, my friend, not a word could have been written without you. Perhaps, once the manuscript is finished, you'd even be willing to write a foreword? Or better yet, I'll write a draft and you can just sign your name. Better still, I'll sign it for you. Hmm?
How about no?
Your success really has been wonderful for my reputation. But you mustn't let me hog your attention all night, my friend. You've many friends to chat to, and I'd love to listen in.
Of course. Well, I have one more person to catch up with.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. He wasn't kidding. Withers, you mad bastard! You brought me back!
That he did.
Soldier. It's really you.
It's great to see you,
I've
Carla.
missed you, man. Like, I've really missed you. And you're so tentacly.
I've missed you too.
I'd say so. Can't think of who's been carrying your pack now that Kay's out of commission.
Really?
Man, we had some good times. Wish Will and I had more time to reminisce, but surviving Avernus is just non-stop.
I get that.
Still, having him there has been incredible. You really can get through anything with someone you love at your side. Oh, but hey, guess what we found?
A way to fix your engine?
Dropped a map with directions and blueprints for Zariel's own private forge. A fucking forge!
Oh.
Now our current plan is to get in, grab a smith, and force him to fix old Rusty. Or maybe give me a brand new model that can live outside of Avernus.
Oh.
You haven't seen the last of old Karlak yet, soldier.
I look forward to your return to this plane. If anyone could survive Avernus twice, it's you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Keep a bottle of something good in the icebox for me, huh? Mama Kay's coming home before too long.
Good.
Can I look you up when I'm out?
Of course you can. Hey, if you don't come looking for me, I'll hunt you down myself.
Hey, that would be kind of fun, though. High stakes hide and seek. Honestly, I'd be curious to see if you could land a blow or two. Gods, is it good to see you again. To be here, together. Hard not to get used to it all over again. This won't be the last time. I promise.
As do I. Hello, Withers.
This one night is like any other, and yet different. Thou art the savior of Baldur's Gate, until such time it requires saving again. How dost thou feel?
I accomplished everything I wanted to.
I am pleased to hear it. The satisfaction of one's intention is, to my surprise, a rare accomplishment. Enjoy the revelry of the day. Thou deservest at least that much.
Think I've caught up with everyone. What comes next?
What indeed? Prick up thy ears and listen. The balance of the world restored. The balance of these lives, mortal and otherwise, brought to account. Hear me, thou heroes, wastrels, friends. I have waited long to tell you these words. It is over. For now. Thou played thy part in weaving the fabric of fate itself, but for every thread you sewed, so did the gods unravel another. Sleep, rest, revel, but be ready, for thou mayst yet be needed. Until we meet again, I wish thee every possible fortune, health, wealth, love, and above all, problems worth solving.
To the hope of more adventures to come, and the greatest friends and allies I could ever ask for.
To you.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Baldur's Gate 3. God, it took me forever to beat this game. And the ending was definitely many, many emotional gut punches back to back. I'm glad I got to convince Karlak to go back to Avernus and save herself. It's difficult, but she's got a chance. Hopefully we'll get to see her again in a sequel, along with everybody in this cast. I managed to save everyone. I think everyone got their best endings, save for me having to turn myself into an Illithid to win. If there was a way to avoid it, I would have, but I had no choice. But in the end, everyone walks away happy. and comes back with their lives complete and satisfying. The city was saved. The entirety of Faerun was saved. Gods were toppled. Other gods found. Tyrants beyond reason were crumbled, obliterated at my hands. And who knows what else this world has in store. As a DM, I was incredibly impressed with this story. It was magnificently written. The characters were all incredible. And how deeply interwoven every single plot thread was just amazing. It was definitely quite the challenge toward the end, too. But there was so much to see here, and so much I haven't seen yet. So many different routes I could have taken, and will take when I play this again later, though not on camera. This game, it definitely earned its spot as Game of the Year, and has become one of my new favorites, possibly my favorite of all time. And it's going to be very, very difficult to topple. For now, I guess this has motivated me to get a bit more work preparing my players for the next leg of their campaign. Maybe I should start working on writing down a script for some videos about that for the channel. Who knows? Maybe I'll have the first one up soon after this finale premieres. As it is, I've probably got a month's worth of uploads left as I finish this now. But for now, I think this is it.
There thou art, the dead three. Thy faces gods, thy actions barely worthy of the name. Didst truly believe thy ploy would succeed? Didst believe I would not notice? Thou soughtst to bolster thy strength by taking away the souls of mortals. But souls vanish when their hosts become mind flayers. Didst think the other gods would not notice? Gods thou may be, yet thou hast proven thyself fools, everyone. The supplication of Bane, the whimper of Baal, the death mule of Merkel. Felled by mortals, I overestimated thee. They did not. Vermin, away. Thou wilt trouble us no more.
I guess he got revenge on them after all. They killed him as a god and took his domain. And now he's taken it back. This is the Envoy of Kairos signing out. Thanks for watching, guys. And I'll see you soon enough for another new magnificent playthrough.